Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. And of course, this video, we're going to be focusing in on Mercury retrograde. On the 31st of January, Mercury is going to be going into retrograde. And if you're not too sure what that is, well, kind of a Coles Notes version of Mercury retrograde is that it's an astrological phenomenon that occurs when Mercury, the planet, gets closer to the sun in its natural orbit. There's an optical illusion that makes the planet and all planets that go around the sun go into what's called retrograde, or it looks like it's going backwards when it's not. Now, as each planet impacts us in different ways, Mercury impacts us in communication and interpersonal relationships. It's probably one of the harder ones that we have to deal with as we orbit the sun and deal with our natural surroundings, because that communication and those relationships, well, they're an intricate part of why we're here. Now, Mercury retrograde does not mean that all relationships are going to go bad or all communication is going to have a challenge. It adds an added dynamic to what it is we're dealing with. A lot of times in Mercury retrograde, we have those computer problems. We find that people are shorter and have less tolerance. What we say doesn't come out the way we mean it. The energies that Mercury retrograde bring in and share with us, they can be a bit of a challenge. However, this is a big however, guys, challenges can strengthen us. They can help strengthen our communication and strengthen our relationships. The way we choose to react, the way we choose to act, is up to us. A lot of times we have the challenge with Mercury retrograde is because we're allowing our ego to respond. We're not thinking about our response. We're not thinking about what we're saying. We're just letting our mouth go or letting our ego drive us. Mercury retrograde gives us an amazing opportunity to start to work on and strengthen different skills. Additionally, because Mercury is in retrograde, there are different opportunities that aren't there all the time because Mercury overshadows them. Now, we are going to be dealing with Mercury retrograde until about the 21st of February. Then it goes back into its direct orbit and we see lesser challenges or lesser problems with our communication. Of course, there still is problems in different areas of our communication and relationships. However, that has a different cause than Mercury. And Mercury retrograde only happens usually about 3 times a year. So this is the first time we've gone into Mercury retrograde in 2021. Let's get back to this reading. What I want to explore is how you can use Mercury retrograde to your advantage. Sure, we'll look at some of those challenges. However, I want to see how you can use it to your advantage for your greater good. We don't want to turtle or miss out on opportunities that this time will naturally bring us. We want to use them to our advantage. And that's exactly what I'm going to explore in this reading. The decks I went with, I had to go with the Wild Unknown, because no one can ever guess what's going to happen in Mercury retrograde. It likes to throw a lot of curveballs, and I like the Wild Unknown for that factor. Then I've paired it with the Enchanted Map Oracle, helping you to get that best course of action for your circumstance. Now, like always, I do have links below to both these fantastic decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. The selections I have for you, my friends, I went with the raw crystal here, so we have got rose quartz, Healerite, and Selenite. I want you to choose whichever crystal resonates with you and speaks to you right now. It may not be your favorite crystal, but it's the crystal that you can't keep your eyes off of, or that your eyes keep going back to. Then go into the description box below. There you're going to find timestamps. Click on the crystals correlating timestamp. It's going to take you straight to your reading, and I will see you there, my friends. Hello and welcome, my rose quartz friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and the oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what Mercury Retrograde has in store for my rose quartz friends. What can my rose quartz friends expect from Mercury Retrograde? The Wheel of Fortune, the 10th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at that shift, that energetical shift that's going to support us with further growth, abundance, and of course, development. Like I said in the introduction, we need to use this time to our advantage. And one of the ways we can do that is embracing the opportunities that are all around us. Of course, to do that, we need to slow down. I know life has us on fast forward mode. We need to push that stop, take that breath, and push play. Focusing in on the here and now, rather than getting stuck in the past or hyper-focused in on the future. When we are here in the present, we're able to engage in these opportunities, embrace them, make choices that are for our greater good and best interests. Mercury Retrograde is going to offer you many opportunities to make some nice shifts and changes that are going to support you in the here and now and in the future. We're not talking about leaps of faith or big shifts and changes. Similar to the wheel, it slowly moves forward, progressing. That is what we need to do. Those slow and steady shifts that create change, that create a difference in your everyday. Even that energetical perspective of slowing down. Stop running on fast forward. Well, that's going to give you a very different perspective. That's going to make a big difference in your life. A big difference in what you do in your day. So, Mercury Retrograde is going to bring you that shift we need. It's going to offer it to you. It's up to you to, well, embrace that change. No one can do it for you. You need to put that work in. You need to be the one that stops running on fast forward and starts experiencing and embracing what's right in front of you. Let's gain some more information on this. What insight, guidance, and wisdom does Mercury Retrograde have for my rose quartz friends? The Mother of Swords, also known as the Queen of Swords. We need to use our head, not our heart, because our heart is going to lead to, well, this wheel stopping altogether. Our heart is going to create added resistance to this change. Our ego in itself and us as a species, we hate change. So you're going to have that resistance. Additionally, we're in Mercury retrograde. So that communication those interpersonal skills, they're going to be stretched. They're going to be pushed to their limits. If we use our heart to try and deal with each other right now, we're going to miss out. We're going to miss this altogether. We need to use our critical thinking skills, our assessment skills, taking the information and what is said for the information's sake, rather than emotion that we're tying things up with. We need to take out that emotion as much as possible and using that knowledge to our advantage. When we use our critical thinking skills, those assessment skills, those reflection skills, we're able to ascertain even more information. We can check in that the information we're receiving is correct. We can check in to know what other people are receiving from us, ensuring that we're catching some of these stumbles. Because in Mercury Retrograde, we have a tendency just to respond. Someone says something, we respond in gut reaction. And then what do? Back at you, girlfriend. And then boom, there it goes again. So you have this crazy volleyball game going on. It's not serving you or them. Rather, instead of doing that gut response, you use your critical thinking skills. You take that pause and you're like, well, that's an interesting perspective. I never thought of it. Giving you the opportunity to reflect back what you heard. That way, you diffuse some of that response, some of that heartache and pain, that low vibrational gut response to situations. You diffuse it before it starts. Using our head rather than our heart will support us in embracing these opportunities and supporting this change. The Five of Pentacles, reminding us that yes, there is going to be conflictual situations. Fives in tarot and oracle, they always are about that conflict, that challenge we're facing. Now, the Five of Pentacles talks about that disconnection. Many of us are already having that strain of isolation due to the virus and the lockdowns and all this other stuff. We're feeling isolated. We're feeling isolated from our physical support team and our spiritual one as well. We've been running on fast forward. We haven't taken that time for us. We haven't reached out and worked with those high vibrational beings that are there for us, that are going to support us right now and in the future. Mercury retrograde not only offers us that opportunity for the shifts we need, for that change, it offers us that time to reconnect in. Connect in with our physical support team and our spiritual one. Yes, I know Mercury retrograde impacts our communication, but if we use our head, our reflective and critical thinking skills, well, we're going to be able to diffuse a lot of those challenges or that conflict that could come up. We need to work on that communication. One of the ways that we can do this is through a meditation that I did with Archangel Gabriel. I think it was actually the first Mercury retrograde that we saw in 2020 that I created this meditation. This meditation is to work on that communication. So we're starting to work on some of the challenges that Mercury retrograde is going to bring forward. But it also is going to start to work on some of this disconnection, helping us to communicate more fully with not only our physical support team, but also our spiritual one. We can use this time to our advantage to connect in and get things moving in the right direction. Like I said in the introduction, Mercury retrograde offers us some unique opportunities because Mercury is in retrograde, allowing other planetary bodies and energies to come in and shine brightly, giving us further direction, further insight, and opportunities for growth. Let's go on to some blessings. What blessings will support my rose quartz friends in overcoming the challenges that Mercury retrograde will present for them? The Wizard of Awareness. That understanding and, of course, awareness is going to increase as we start to connect and start to engage and embrace this shift, this energetic shift. Like I said earlier, we're running on fast forward right now. We cannot be aware if things are blurring by us. That's slowing down and being present. That is going to support you in understanding not only your situation and what you're dealing with, but yourself as well. You're going to have time to engage in some of these activities, engage in some meditation, engage in aspects and pieces that are life-giving, that are fulfilling for you. We're not running so hard and so fast. It gives us time and energy to partake in other endeavors that are going to support us in our growth and our development. And then finally, Moonlight. Such a beautiful card. Connecting in and tapping in to that divine feminine that the Mother of Swords or Queen of Swords initially touched on. We need to care for self now more than ever. Yes, pushing that stop and play button rather than the fast forward button is going to support us in taking care of ourselves and not burning ourselves out and putting so much demand on us. However, it's more than that. We need to take this time, use that divine feminine to our advantage to help heal and rejuvenate us so we're able to engage and embrace this new shift. And like I said earlier, those meditations, they're going to be supportive. There's another one connected to this divine feminine energy. Now, during Mercury retrograde, we don't have a natural full moon. However, we can call on Archangel Christiel, who is connected in to that moon, to that divine feminine energy. She actually has a wonderful way of transforming that masculine universal energy into a divine feminine energy. Months ago, I did a meditation with her where we looked at and connected in to our divine feminine energy, and we explored your life path, the way forward, which really supports you in embracing this shift. These little shifts that are going to create a big change in your outlook, in your life. Taking that time for you and healing you. Now, if you're new to my channel and don't know these meditations and aren't sure what I'm talking about, I have a number of meditations. They're actually in 2 different playlists that I've created for my friends to support them on their journey, in their healing and overcoming obstacles. Most of my healing meditations are in my Archangel Healing Meditation playlist, where I connect in with the archangels. I combined their healing powers with my Reiki energy, and you have this amazing experience of being healed on many different dimensions. It is an energetic heal, and it is fantastic. I also have another playlist where we're looking at more tools to support you in your journey, helping you to overcome some of those challenges. These playlists are free. You can use and revisit these meditations as often as you need. They are there for you so that you can move past and move forward, continuing on your development and your growth. I don't feel comfortable suggesting meditations or tools that I'm going to charge you for. You already have a lot that you're dealing with. These meditations are there to support you in this journey, support you in embracing the opportunities that are being presented, no matter whether we're in Mercury retrograde or not. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what Mercury retrograde is offering you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It truly helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which starts to help us raise our vibration as a collective. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There's a lot more coming your way, my friends, and the best way to ensure that you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, guidance, and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. It has lots of tiers and many perks. Of course, those perks, you're looking at free readings and healings from me. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my rose quartz friends. Hello and welcome, my Healerite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and the oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what Mercury retrograde has in store for my Healerite friends. What can my Healerite friends expect from Mercury retrograde? The 10 of Wands. Now, I love the 10 of Wands. It kind of reminds us that we are working way harder than we need to. And that during Mercury retrograde, we have that possibility of burning out. We're going to fizzle out. Slowing down and releasing some of this burden that we're carrying. Asking for the help that we need so that we can use this time to our advantage. I don't mean just pushing off tasks or workload onto others. Asking for the support so that you can take that time for you and, well, take care of you. We're coming off one hell of a year in 2020. We're coming off of, well, the holiday experience. And there's a lot of burden that we're carrying. We need to take some time for us. We need to work on us and heal us so that we're not at that point of overburdened burnout. And I know Mercury retrograde has a tendency to want us to kind of recluse ourselves. It's not what I'm saying. We don't want to pull ourselves out of our life too much. We just want to give ourselves a little extra time here or there to start to work on us and heal and rejuvenate us. Little shifts go a long way in helping to deburden us. We can't shed everything right now. However, we can ask for the help. We can put in some added supports to getting some of these jobs done. Let's gain some more insight here. What further insight? Whoa. Information. Oh, the cards are going everywhere now, guys. That one hit the floor. And guidance can we share with my Healerite friends for Mercury Retrograde? The cards have been very clear that they need it out right now. The Five of Wands. That conflict. Those conflicting passions. This card has a couple different meanings. One, of course, is that conflict we're going to see in Mercury Retrograde. We can't stop that conflict, those challenges. However, we can make choices for our greater good that are high vibrational. Slowing down and taking time to, well, reflect on the information for information's sake, and then choose how you're going to respond. That answer that is high vibrational. In Mercury Retrograde, we have a tendency to, boom, we want to respond, and boom, the person responds back, and then you respond, and then they respond. And then you have this very vicious volleyball game going on. We need to stop that so that we can minimize that conflict. Most people expect when they bark, you're going to bark back. However, if they bark at you, you take that breath and go, oh, that's an interesting perspective. I hadn't thought about that. Well, it diffuses them, boom, like that, and you can move past that conflict. Move past those, well, differing opinions, those differing passions. Is one right and one wrong? Maybe, maybe not. One might be right for you, and one might be right for them. You guys have different paths. So the answer may be very different for each of you. Now, additionally, the Five of Wands talks about that resistance that you're going to have to releasing some of the false control we have. We like to do everything for everybody because then we feel not only important, but we also feel like we're in control of something. When we start to ask for help and we start to deburden ourselves a bit, we start to get a little bit of anxiety around that loss of our perceived control. That loss of the perception we have that others need us, that we're invaluable. Part of what we need to check into and, well, connect in with as we start to rejuvenate and heal ourselves is that understanding of self. We don't need to be, quote unquote, needed by others. We need us to enjoy our experience. We need us to be needed by us. And we're missing that. Mercury Retrograde offers us that time and a lot of opportunities to start to connect in. Understand us. Understand these underlying passions that we have. Because when we connect in with that, we're going to find that we connect in with what is fulfilling and life-giving. We start to change that perspective, and perspective is a pretty easy thing to change. We have that ability to change perspective and not really do anything too drastic in our life. Yet that perspective change causes us to see opportunities and solutions that we couldn't see before. Our vibration is higher, and we can make those choices for our greater good, getting us out of that conflict and into new opportunities. So that perspective shift, asking for some help. We can't do it all. We were never meant to. We need to ask for the help and start to shift that perspective. Yes, we want to continue to support our friends and family. However, we do need that energy back at us as well, supporting our growth and development, our healing process in this lifetime. And then we have the Mother of Swords, or the Queen of Swords, reminding us that we need to use our head, not our heart, during Mercury retrograde. When we use those critical thinking skills, when we take that pause, we do that reflection, we can start to see the answers that are high vibrational. Like I said before, we can choose how we respond. And that response, well, it's going to determine on how we perceive that information. How we give ourselves that time to take that breath in and assess what's truly happening, rather than just responding to what's happening. Additionally, the Queen of Swords reminds us that divine feminine energy, we can use it to our advantage. As we enter into Mercury retrograde, we're just finishing off that divine feminine energy of the full moon. It would have been nice to have a full moon for your advantage, to help you with your healing, help you with that rejuvenation. However, unfortunately, we don't. That said, we can call it in. We have that ability. I have a number of meditations that I've created over the last year. Any of my Archangel healing meditations would support you in that healing, calling in some of that divine feminine energy. Now, if you want to focus in specifically on that divine feminine energy to support you with that healing, I did connect in with Archangel Christiel. She's an amazing archangel that is connected into that full moon divine feminine energy. She's a fantastic angel because she converts that universal energy that is considered a masculine energy, that Christ light, into a feminine energy. She's a fantastic archangel to connect in with that divine feminine. And when I connected in with her and did our meditation together, we looked at your path, how you needed to move forward. That's going to support you in this journey, helping you to embrace the opportunities that Mercury retrograde is going to offer you. When I connected in with her, we explored your path forward. And of course, that exploration is going to help you gain that guidance on how you can use these opportunities that Mercury retrograde is going to offer you over the next couple of weeks, allowing you for further growth, for further knowledge, and of course, inspiration, as the wands are connected to that passion and the sword to that knowledge. With that knowledge and that passion, you're going to open up even more opportunities for yourself, which of course, you're going to see that that growth and those abundances follow suit. So, using those meditations to your advantage, calling in that divine feminine and taking care of self so that you can start to understand you, understand where your passions lie. It's going to support you in the here and now and the weeks and months to come. Let's move on to some blessings. What blessings will support my Healerite friends in overcoming the challenges they're going to face in Mercury retrograde? Spirit of place. Know that wherever it is you go, whatever it is you try and do, you're going to experience different energies. Just like when you're at home, you feel safe and secure. You have that sense of home, that stability. Every place has that energetic imprint, and we can use that to our advantage. Going for walks, getting out of some of those places that the spirit may not be as supportive or conducive to what it is you're trying to achieve. You want to be in a place where the spirit and the energies can support you. Just like sometimes at work you may not feel able to connect in and do some meditation or take time for self, you may have to leave the office, go for a walk, get some fresh air, break some of the energies that may cause some of that conflict. Additionally, if you're in a situation where the energies are good and nurturing and supportive of you, well, you want to stay there, honing in and using that energy to your advantage. We can't control how others respond, but we can control what it is we do and where it is we go. I love that card. Unexpected visitors. The higher your vibration, the less burdened and burnt out you feel, well, that's when you're going to find that those high vibrational beings, they're going to come back. They're going to come back and support you. They used to support you as a child, but as you shut down, well, their support wasn't as heard, and they went on to support others, waiting for you to have that high vibration, waiting for you to make that energetical shift, make those choices and actions that are in your greatest and best good, so that they can again return and support you on your journey, helping you to realign your path to your soul's deeper purpose, bringing in a lot more fulfillment and meaning into your everyday. So don't be surprised as you start to make those little shifts and changes in your day. And we're not talking leaps and bounds here. We're talking about asking for the help that you need, reflecting on what it is that's occurring. So reflecting in with that person on what it is they're trying to say. Reflecting in on what you're understanding. Checking in with that person. This is what I understood you to say. Checking in with others to make sure that they hear what you are trying to say. And I've done it myself where I'm like, yeah, it's Mercury Retrograde. What are you hearing from me? What do you hear me trying to tell you? And of course, looking at that picture, understanding you, making sure you're making choices for your greater good. They will come forward and support you with that journey, support you with more information, more inspiration, which of course brings in a lot more fulfillment and abundances, because you're looking at that high vibration rather than that lower conflictual vibration that we're dealing with right now. Making decisions for your greater good, giving yourself that time, that energy to rejuvenate you, will help to raise that vibration, help you with connecting in and gaining that guidance that's going to support you in the here and now and the weeks to come. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what Mercury Retrograde is offering you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It truly helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which starts to help us raise our vibration as a collective. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There's a lot more coming your way, my friends, And the best way to ensure that you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, guidance, and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. It has lots of tiers and many perks. Of course, those perks, you're looking at free readings and healings from me. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Healerite friends. Hello and welcome, my Selenite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and the oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what Mercury Retrograde has in store for my Selenite friends. What can my Selenite friends expect from Mercury Retrograde? The Five of Swords. Of course, that conflict, that challenge. We know that inherently. Mercury retrograde, it's not all kittens and rainbows. We're looking at some challenge. Now, like I said in the introduction, even with challenge, there is much we can learn. This is the Five of Swords. Swords is about knowledge. We can gain a lot of insight and knowledge into ourselves, into our situations and our journey, should we be open to it. One of the ways that we can be open to it is that we need to use our head, not our heart. The piece with the sword suit is that the swords themselves, they're just about information, about knowledge. The challenge being, as we're emotional beings, we attach emotion to this knowledge, to these situations and events. It causes heartache and fear, which causes stagnation, which causes conflict. With the added challenges that Mercury retrograde is going to add, we do need to use those critical thinking skills, our assessment skills, to help us create and understand a solution that is for our greatest and best good. In Mercury retrograde, a lot of times what happens is that someone says something and we gut response. Then what happens? Well, they do it back to us and boom, well, it's back in our court. And then we have this deranged game of volleyball that only causes more heartache, more pain, for both you and the other person or people involved. However, if we don't do that gut response, we use our critical thinking skills, we take that pause, and we respond in a high vibrational manner. Whether we agree with the situation or not, we use that high vibration, those critical thinking skills, we're able to diffuse the whole game. It no longer becomes something of pain and heartache. It becomes a situation that you can learn from them and they can learn from you. Because you're not in that gut response. You're not in that low vibration. You're in the high vibration. You can retain the knowledge that you need. And speaking of knowledge, let's get some more information here. What insight, wisdom, and guidance can we share with my Selenite friends for Mercury retrograde? The Daughter or Page of Cups. I love this rendition. I love the little ducky with the rainbow. So the daughters or the pages, you're looking at that gentle, inquisical, playful energy. The daughter reminds us to take care of ourselves, to take the time for us, take the time to play, and look out for those rainbows. We get caught up in the heartache, the fear, the everyday grind. We're not paying attention. We're missing those opportunities. We're missing those rainbows that is going to help with our growth, with our development, and helping us to get unstuck. We all have different degrees of stuckness. We're all bound by our ego in different ways that are causing some of those challenges, that stagnation. It's time to shift gears. Time to have a little bit more fun, a lot more laughter, and taking that time for you. Allowing yourself to tap into the cup's intuition, to tap into your intuitional creativity, allowing you to express you in a way that is meaningful, for you. Allowing you to gain that guidance and insight through intuitional creativity and skill, where you're going to gain that guidance, that wisdom that's going to help give you that direction. We were never meant to do this journey alone, and nor should we. We need people and high vibrational beings to support us along the way. Give us that guidance, that insight, be our sounding board, making sure that the solutions that we're creating not only make sense, but are going to be meaningful for us. Sometimes we get so caught up in what we're doing that we lose track of the bigger picture. And I don't mean we have a big picture of what's going on. Far from it. The only beings that have that bigger picture, of course, would be those high vibrational beings and the universe. They can see through the trees. We're so caught up in our journey, so caught up in this forest, we can't see the path clearly. But we are able to gain a better understanding of what's going on around us, especially if we have that sounding board to check in. What do others think? Getting their feedback, and again, taking the knowledge, not emotion that we attach to some resistance or to some challenges. Sometimes in the challenges or resistance that we're facing from others, we're able to redefine and re-clarify what it is we're doing. We are human and can miss things. So having that sounding board, it really does help us to create and understand what it is we're doing. Oh, I love this card. The Fool, the 0 card in the Major Arcana. Of course, we're looking at those new beginnings. It sounds crazy, but Mercury Retrograde very much has that new beginning for you. You're able to see things through that rainbow-colored lens. That optimism, that energy shift, those reflective and critical thinking skills. They're going to go a long way in Mercury Retrograde and the weeks to come. We need those critical thinking skills, that reflection, that assessment. Those skills need to be honed to help us on our journey. The Fool also reminds us and supports the Daughter of Cups' initial suggestion of adding in that carefree fun and enjoyment. We need to add in a lot more laughter. The more laughter we have, the less stressed we are. There's been a lot of scientific exploration and research on how laughter reduces that stress hormone within us, helping with that energetical shift, helping us to feel a lot more, happy, and we enjoy what we're doing rather than getting caught up in the the conflict, the daily grind, those expectations, we miss out. We need to have that play, that fun, that exploration, so we understand us and our journey more clearly. So let's go on to some blessings. What blessings will support my Selenite friends? Whoa! That card's important. Friends, in overcoming the challenges they're going to face in Mercury Retrograde. Sometimes the cards are very excited. And the card that really, 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 really wanted out? Field of Dreams. We have the opportunity to connect in and make some amazing changes. Amazing changes of abundance and growth. The biggest aspect in achieving and getting to this field of dreams is following that knowledge, following that carefree belief in self and the universe, knowing you have the skills and abilities to do this, knowing the universe has your back. Adding in that creativity, you will find yourself in that field of dreams. Your vibration will be high enough to engage in and embrace some of these amazing opportunities that are going to be presented to you, that can only be offered when Mercury is in retrograde. Because when it's in direct orbit, it may limit the ability for other entities, energies, or astrological phenomenon to come in and allow their message to be heard. These opportunities are for you, and you're the one who needs to engage in them. Your perspective, your vibration, it matters, and you're in charge of that. What you're focusing in on and how you're caring for self, what energies you're projecting outwards and inwards to self will help with that vibration, will help you to connect in to the amazing opportunities and possibilities. Spirit of place. We've talked a lot about how different people are going to respond differently, and how, you're only responsible for your own self. You can't control others. You can only control how you respond and where it is you go. And that where is important as well. Every place has an energy, a feeling, and we can use that to our advantage as well. Seeking out spaces that we know that are going to support us with clearing our head, allowing us to have some fun and play, engaging in that creativity, that self-expression. We can choose where it is we go. I know we're limited still with a lot of restrictions and different places are closed. However, again, that goes back to the knowledge. We can access outdoor areas. We can bring in and call in the energies of different places to come to us so that we can feel more connected in to those creative energies. We need to use Gaia and our community to our advantage. We want to keep ourselves safe and those around us safe. So we need to do this in a very mindful manner. However, going out and embracing the energies, or even just walking by and connecting into those energies, can help rejuvenate us and inspire us so that we do feel stronger and more able to move forward. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what Mercury Retrograde is offering you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It truly helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which starts to help us raise our vibration as a collective. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There's a lot more coming your way, my friends, and the best way to ensure that you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, guidance, and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. It has lots of tiers and many perks. Of course, those perks, you're looking at free readings and healings from me. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Selenite friends.